And of course, there's the graphic we don't want to have. So, hey, all right. That wasn't too bad. We're just kind of running like a chicken with its head cut off. Anyways, oh yeah, the open to the show. Hi, this is Dean with Modern Day Thrive. It's been a hell of a week, I tell you. Yes, I am your host, Dean Baker, and next to me is this guy who doesn't either. His camera keeps getting out of whack on me, so I'm just going to adjust it. As always, with me in the opposing chair is George. George, how you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Yeah, just get that microphone. You got to actually angle the whole thing. There you go. Well, don't eat it.
All right. I already ate. I'm good.
So, fun week, huh?
Oh, always.
Yeah.
Always.
So what's what are the highlights of your week?
Man, I'm just looking for more money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What
all
are you
over.
finding on the ground? I mean,
no
someplace I should be
quarters.
looking?
No. I tried that. That didn't work too well.
Right.
I did in the beginning. It worked okay, but
Okay.
No, I found quite a few new systems this week. They're so new that I probably don't have a lot of relevant data I could show.
Right.
I do have one I'll show tonight that one that you'll be looking at, I think, next week, the KeyX Trade, which is starting to look pretty good. It has some benefits.
You've been on it for a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, it's probably been, I think, about 2 weeks, maybe a little bit more. So not a long time frame, but it's looking good.
Let's for those. I will talk to me about it. I'm going to see if I can share the screen.
I have it up.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah, I have. I can share it.
To stream, right? You can do that?
Yeah,
Cool.
sure.
Okay. So there's KeyX Trade. We introduced this a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got in. You only got in for like $100.
200.
200. So
$200. So I started with $200. The last go around, I ended up with about $231. Now I'm at $254, I think.
All right, so
Screen's too
before
small.
that, I'm gonna we're jumping ahead. We're so excited. You're excited. You got a lot of things going. I'm excited I have a lot of things going. But all right, so this show is based upon Modern Day Thrive. It's about side hustle. It's about multiple streams of income. It's about starting a small business, starting a large business, starting any business. How to survive business. How to survive debt. Getting yourself out of debt. All these things, kind of every week we approach any of these topics on how to really just kind of not just survive, but to thrive.
Absolutely.
Thrive in this day and age. At the end of a pandemic, people have lost jobs. They've gotten sick.
Inflation.
People have died. Inflation is going crazy. Supply chains, gone crazy. Businesses are failing left and right.
Appreciate that like.
And somebody liked us. Who liked us?
I don't know. I can't tell.
Phil Bird. Phil Bird liked us. Thanks, Phil. Phil, you got to come on the show one of these days. So I know you got to come on the show. You know, and tell me, I'll send you a link and you can hop right on from wherever you are, whether it's on your cell phone. And we invite this to anybody out there who has obviously something to contribute. Not just to come on the show and do Baba Booey or some stupid shit like that. This is contributions. We like contributions. We love to chat back to you. We love the likes, but we really love the chat. And you know, that gets us going. You know, that gets us the engaged two-way, three-way communications. That gets us kind of jazzed
Absolutely.
up, because then we kind of, you know, you come up with something maybe we hadn't thought of.
Yeah.
Or maybe you have some more questions about some of the things that we're going to be spouting out here in the next hour. So yeah, our show, it's hustle, it's side hustle, it's. I know you love the income streams.
Oh,
you know, where you can just sit,
And
watch TV, and make money.
Yeah.
And you know, you were doing it for some months, and then you got me into it, and I was kind of skeptical at first. Of course. Then
why wouldn't you be, right?
Then you got me into it, and then I started out with what? NovatechFX.com. So Novatech was great, not crazy. It was a website driven, so I had to start an account, send them some Bitcoin. They put it immediately into trade, or within 24 hours. So they started trading with it, and every Friday I see my percent, my dividend, and then I take that dividend, I roll it back in, and
it grows.
Boom. You know, money I wouldn't have had that. What would I put, like $1,000 in? I would not have had that. Money would have depleted itself had it sat where it was. It would have just went, you know,
it's just far enough away that you can't spend it.
Right.
But it's close enough
and I
that
can
if
get
you
it
need
back.
to get it.
I can get it back if I needed it right now.
Yeah. Takes about 14 days.
Take you know, takes a little bit.
Takes a bit.
But that money gets kind of rolled over and lets it grow by itself. We compound interest.
Yes. Weekly.
Which is a dirty word for banks to use against you. Banks use this against you.
Yes, they do.
And that's a dirty word, but when we use it, it's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing, because all of a sudden now I'm not making money. What am I making on Novatech? About 12% a month.
Yeah, it's about 12%.
But I'm not making money on that initial investment. I'm making money on the interests that I roll back into that initial investment. So the investment is growing based on the interest payments that I'm getting, rolling them back in. And before you know it, that number, I think I started at 900, and I think I'm up to like, I don't know, 13.
Nice.
1,400.
And that's just by reinvesting.
Just by taking that interest, that you know, that 12% a month, which is what, about about $100, $110 a month.
Yeah.
And now I'm getting more the next month.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting
the
balance is growing. So we started out doing that, and then you started working with these Facebook traders.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying
dicey.
I'm not, well, dicey in a way, certain things, you know.
Has its pluses and minuses.
We kind of, here's what we think. We think these guys, they're young.
Yeah.
They're greedy, which is good. You want, you know, but they're not that greedy, which means they're surfing a really safe
line
where they don't really expose the risk.
Sure.
And since I've been in, since you've been in, we've collected daily dividends, Monday through Friday, daily, to the tune of 10% a week.
Yes. I like that number.
And we get paid daily, it's not sitting in their account, them just showing us what money, you know, we think we've earned.
Direct pay to you.
I look at my Bitcoin every day, and it shows, because I'm with two traders, I've got 2 payments a day.
Yeah.
And it adds up to 10% a week.
Yeah.
That means in about 10 weeks, if I don't roll that money back in, which I'm not, I'm doubling my money every 10 weeks. Okay.
Nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah. So I got on a little heavier, but that's not good enough for you.
No.
you brought in, and here we are, KeyX Trade. Now we can go back and start talking about. Hang on, I gotta hit the share screen button. You just go full page if you want, or
I'm
just
going
go
to
to
because
your...
I can't see what I'm doing.
Actually, just go to your screen, and then I'm looking at what you're showing me. So
That's what I'm doing.
go
Okay.
ahead. So KeyX Trade you found, and it's
And this is my live account, by the way. This is not a demo
Yeah.
account. So this is actually my account.
So they're not really trading. They're not trading forex, but they are like we think they're mining Bitcoin.
I think they have a little bit of
or
everything.
staking Bitcoin or something where they can give us a very similar every 5 days.
It's a 5-day turnaround.
They can offer us
10%?
as much as 10%.
Yeah.
Has it been more?
Nope.
Been-
I
so
would
is it
imagine
fixed at 10?
that's how they get their profit. So if they earn more, then they just get more profit. But they're giving you what they tell you they're going to give you.
Right, and it
Which is fine by me.
What I like about this over the Facebook traders is this
can
has a
see it.
website, much like Novatech.
Yeah.
that's a website that you can log into, watch your money, look at your money. If you need customer service, if you need to cash out, you can go and do what you need to do. Now, this money, you put money into this, and in 5 days, they're going to kick you out of the
It just
trade.
stops. It just
the
stops,
trade
yeah.
stops.
Yeah.
But then they're kind of holding, so your money stays in a holding account, and you can decide what to do.
So right here where it says account balance,
Yeah.
that's the amount I have available. And it looks like the way we shared it, I can't actually take control of it. And that's fine. I don't have to do that there. I was going to kick the investment off again. But once I do,
Right.
it'll switch the full amount that I'm putting in over here to active deposit. And then once it does that, that's turning the 5 days on.
Okay.
And then it just starts counting from there, and and that's how you know that you're running. That once it hits 0, that
Right.
means it's finished, and then it moves that and whatever you've earned.
Do you have a link that you're going to put if people want to see this? And
I can't.
You-
Because I'll put it into the chat when we're
yeah,
done.
just
Yeah.
make sure if you
Yeah.
see it here, copy it. So
I will.
That, we
It's
can.
the way we've shared it. I can't
Yeah.
do anything on my
Right.
screen.
No, that's fine.
But yeah, no, I will, because so far I like this one. What I really like about this one
Right.
is if, let's say, and we have money coming in daily.
Right.
I could open up a new investment every day.
Yeah.
So basically, every day I would have one expired.
And it's not a Monday through Friday. It's 7 days
7
a
days,
week.
yeah.
So every 5 days you get you
5
stop
days, yeah.
earning,
Whatever day it
and then you
started,
can
yeah.
roll it back in, take the interest, add it back to the principal, and make the new investment. But
or withdrawal.
here's the thing about this is every 5 days, if you're diligent about reinvesting it every 5 days, you can, in our other account, it's only 5 days, 4 times a month.
Yes.
So the most we can make is 40% in a month, which is good.
Sure.
So now if we're pulling down 10% with KeyX every 5 days, but
Yeah.
we can trade over the weekends,
What, 6?
then it's 6 to 7 times a month
Yeah.
that we can be earning money. So it means you can get 60 to 70% dividend from your money.
Yeah.
But you got to be right on every 5 days. You
Yeah.
got to repost. I'm thinking it's probably closer to 6. I think there's going to be a day in between. You're just not going to find that.
Yeah, if you miss it,
know.
you miss it. You
But
just
even
add it to
still,
another day.
every 6 days you can be earning 10%.
Yeah.
That's 5 times a month. That gives you that extra week of
Yeah.
investment of that dividend. And wow, I got to start saying this that for those watching, that we are not financial planners. We are not stock traders. Well, stock trader, that's a different thing. But we are not.
Not offering advice.
We're not offering advice. We're showing you what we do. And we've got some comments already. Look at that.
Oh.
Phil Bird. I can't do Baba Booey. Hello, you guys. I'm really interested in this. Well, Phil, we love it if you were. Ask George if he remembers. George sees all the questions, so ask if he remembers BitConnect.
I do not.
Do you remember BitConnect?
I do
It's
not.
a bit-connect.
Doesn't ring a bell, but then again, I'm kind of old and I do forget a lot. So.
Don't do that. No, we're just getting in our prime here.
I have
This
not
is-
heard of that one.
Yeah, I've never heard of BitConnect. Of course, that is nowhere near there's
Sure.
no reasoning for that, as I've never heard of any of this stuff before 2 years ago. So yeah, I don't
As
know what
Joe would
BitConnect
say,
is.
you're a kindergartner.
Right. We've tried to invite our old buddy Joe. He's Mr. Crypto.
We're gonna get him on here
Mr.
one day.
Bitcoin, and but yeah, he's still he's ducking me. He's ducking me.
Maybe when you get into the new place, we can get him.
I'm
to
gonna
come
have
over.
to have
Set it up ahead of
I'm gonna
time.
tell him, what night would you like me to be live?
There you go.
There you go. And I'll be live. I just loved it when I produced Joe's show. He had a show, and it was called Enough About Me, and he had fun doing it. I had fun doing it, but he wasn't serious enough. Which means he only did, I don't know, what did he do? About 15, 20 episodes, something
Yeah,
like
something
that.
like
And then it kind of fell through. But we got other shows we're planning to do. But Joe gets a kick out of this, and that's why it really, just amazes me that he's not like going, oh, I want to talk more about crypto. And
So is BitConnect still alive? Because now I'm curious.
well, you better do a little while I'm talking here. So, I like KeyX Trade because we can get an extra week of investment.
Yeah.
That sounds really kind of good.
Sure.
That means we're getting our money back sooner,
Quicker, yeah.
quicker, a week earlier or whatever.
Or if you happen to have one running every day of the week, you're getting money every day. Basically, once they start
Getting
expiring.
money every
I like
day, not just 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, but 7 possible days of earning.
That's
a
one of the nicest
month.
things about half of what we're
week,
finding right now is it changes the paradigm from monthly to yearly type of APY, type of earnings.
Phil
to
said.
weekly.
Phil said no. It died in 2017. Massive
Oh,
rug
there we go.
pull.
All right, well, I'm glad I
we
didn't
don't
know.
like hearing rug pulls, but hey, you just never know what somebody's.
You don't.
What somebody's.
Even the ones that look good when they were looking good, you didn't always know.
being their devious plans to just say, and any of these could be, we don't know until it happens.
Yeah.
That's just it. There is an element of risk, but here's what we do about risk. What do we talk about risk? You minimize your risk.
Take money off the table.
You get your money back. So you ever hear of working with the house's money, meaning you only work with the winnings.
Yeah.
You
can let it ride at the end of the day then.
And then you're working with the house's money. Get your money back. Put your money in, get your money back, and then play with what's left over. I don't even like that. I like the idea of spreading it across. Think roulette.
Yeah.
If you put chips on every number, you're going to win.
Eventually you're going to hit one, right?
Yeah. Well, this is like now you've got me invested into 3 different platforms.
Yeah. Soon to be 4.
Soon to be 4. I'm going to get into KeyX Trade. Soon to be 4, 3 platforms, and I've been making dividends. Some only a week or 2, but actually no, it's been about a month.
Yeah, it's been
as
a little
many
more.
as like 4 months for Novatech. So I've been earning money, if not daily, weekly,
If not weekly, yeah.
since I started. And when you ask me
never failed yet?
what's the downturn, I'm like, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So I can only say that it's as good as
We haven't turned that page yet.
what's good for me. Now, that's not saying any of these guys can go upside down in a week or make bad trades, because that's what happens when you hire someone to trade for you. You're gambling on these. Well, what we figured out is these guys that trade, they don't do high risky things. Obviously,
With them
they
being
trade-
able to produce daily money, they can't be.
How can you?
Yeah.
So globally, on the grand scale, you keep your risk low, which is what we want to do. Keep our
Yes.
risk low. Means if I'm
passive.
If I'm in 3 different trade situations right now, and I'm about to be in 4, I've divided my risk up. Instead, my risk was 33%. So any one of those 3, all of them, sure.
Yeah.
But now it's not. If I do this KeyX trade, now my risk is 25% instead of 33%. So I don't know if that really makes sense, if I'm even explaining that right. But again,
Close
this is what makes sense to me.
Sure.
So I'm dividing my eggs. I don't carry all my eggs in one basket. So I have 4 baskets now producing, eggs, and I'm going to eat. Let's kind of end it there. That's enough of my my analogies for the night. So KeyX Trade looks like something that it's going to take a little bit more time to kind of
make sure all the pudding's there.
Figure out what you need to do and how you need to do it. So I'm going to get in probably tomorrow. I'll move some investment there. Funny thing is I've already got money from the Facebook traders in my Bitcoin account. So all I got to do is just move it to these guys. Yeah. So I'm gonna finance this one
how we're
with
building it,
with the dividends from the other guys.
Keep it in Bitcoin, you can just move it.
Yep. So and then there was another thing. I think on Instagram there was a girl saying she could turn 300 into 3,000 in a week.
In a week.
And she takes 10%. I think,
10% of the earnings.
The earnings.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
That sounds amazing, and so
I'm willing to risk $300 for that. I am.
Right. See, if it happens, you get your money back in a week.
Plus,
what's the downside?
I lost $300.
Yeah. So I'm not saying go ahead and cash in the kids' savings accounts.
Never.
But if you think
never risk what you can't afford.
Never risk what you can't afford to lose.
Most of what I'm investing with are from earnings I earned from something else.
Yeah.
So not a lot of it.
So you're not pulling money out of your bank, your
a little bit I have
income,
but a majority of it I haven't.
Absolutely, and that's why I'm just kind of spreading it out, betting on more numbers to win, and they could all win. That's the beauty of it. All these numbers I'm betting on, they're all winning. So I'm only kind of betting for everybody to show up every day. Meaning I'm betting on that dividend. And if one of them falls,
it'll hurt.
It might pinch a bit.
Won't be fun. Won't be happy.
But my investment split across 4 people instead of just everybody on one.
Yeah.
That's that old
you're building redundancy.
TV show film idea that, I think it was in the Rocky franchise. Which Rocky was it? Rocky 4, Rocky 5, Rocky 6, where he comes home and of course his accountant, divested him and ran away with all the money or lost the money, and now he's poor and he has to go back living in the building he grew up in. It's classic. It's a classic. I hired an investor and he stole my money. So it's classic, but you know what? It's not original. It happens, and you could find a financial planner. He's going to tell you, well, do this, and we'll get you get you into all these things. And before you know it, you're signing blank checks to somebody named Earl, who's going to, who's going to disappear. And before you know it, so we're not saying do that. We're saying you might want to take a little more active role.
Sure.
I put money in crypto, a big chunk of money, and I watched it get cut in half.
I walk away from investments when they're too high.
Yeah. Now my crypto, it seems to be building back up again. It's going up. I haven't checked today, but I haven't checked in like a week. I love the fact that I'm not stressing over what my crypto is doing.
Yeah.
So, but it was bumping up a little bit. I think
probably came down again. But
my 4 turned into 2. Actually, it turned into like 1,600, 1,500, something like that.
Yeah.
And then in the last month or so, it went up to 2. Last I checked, it went up to like 2,500. So it is kind of growing back again. But you know what? I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care what it does. Some of my crypto is earning me interest, and I'm thrilled about that.
There will be another.
It's 5% a year, but what's that?
There will be another bull run at some point.
Yeah.
So if you want to cash out, then that will be the.
I don't want to cash out. I don't want to cash out. Even if my Shiba Inu, gives me a few grand. No, I'm just going to ignore it. I might not even see the bull run if it happens. But you know what? Much like most investments, like your Doge investment, but still, after, and you bought Shiba Inu, so you've experienced what it felt like to buy some crypto called Doge a few years ago, and then watch it the night before a bull or
yeah.
the couple days of bull run
Yeah.
that it did, and you just added zeros and zeros to all the money that you put in. You might have put in a couple hundred a few years ago
That's all I bought
and
it for,
pulled
yeah.
out 10 grand, that day. So it's hard to,
It was a good investment.
but I don't think you do that now because then you didn't really have any of these other money producing things.
Yeah, it's not as much. It wouldn't be as much of a.
Right.
It's not my only pickle then.
Right.
We had so many of them.
And what we do know of is that, long term, hold on to it.
Sure.
If you can ignore it for a couple of years, even better. Likelihood it's going to, it's going to have sustainable growth.
Yeah, both of my Shiba and my Doge are now sitting and earning interest. So I don't care.
So
let them grow.
Anyway, so I was hoping more people would be in here chatting away. Thank you, Phil, for your chatting in. That's great. So I'm going to get into KeyX. You've had a positive response so far. These couple of Facebook. Now I don't know, but did you want to put it in the chat?
Oh,
your link.
I will.
Here's the thing. All these things that we put out, we talk about. If you use one of our links, then yes, we do get a little finder's fee. And we would love it as opposed to just going to like KeyX Trade and starting off. Use our link. That way we might catch a little $10, $20 bump, It's not a big deal. We're not gonna lose any, we're not gonna lose any massive potential there, but
Should be in there.
Does help. KeyX Trade, there it is. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. And when I get in, I'm going to start posting it so you can decide watching the show who you would rather get the commission. So, which is, guess what? Another stream of revenue that we like to think about.
Absolutely. These things are perfect for trying to. If you're trying to pay off debt.
Yeah.
You're getting daily money. You really should be using some of it to pay off your debt.
Yeah.
And
I keep trying because you keep
I keep pushing
not following your own rules, and I have to keep jabbing and going.
I keep pushing it.
No, pay off your debt. Pay off your debt first. You pay your debt off, and then because it's interest, you're paying interest on somebody else's, summer home.
It's the squirrel syndrome. Squirrel.
Yeah, I know. So we like the idea of divesting in multiple streams versus one big stream.
Yes.
It's the one. Yeah. It's my one lottery ticket. It's going to happen.
I seriously want 10. I think 10's a good number.
10's a good what?
10 streams.
10 streams.
I think it's a good number. Because some of these you can start with 300, and that's all you really ever have to put in. You can just keep rolling it over and taking the profit out.
Right.
So
say you're getting $300 even just a month.
Sure.
A month. So in one of these like Facebook traders, that's $1,000, and you're getting at $1,000 collecting 10%. You're $400 a month.
Yeah.
And if you have 10 of those. What's your that's $1,000. If you have 10, that's $10,000 investment.
Yeah.
But you're also pulling down $4,000 a month.
Yes.
So, and then what's the likelihood all 10 of them are going to drop?
I seriously would.
Unless
they're all connected to the same spy network.
Right. Yeah. Unless there's this colossal conspiracy against just us or
don't
anybody.
get us wrong. There are scams out there.
Yes.
And there are people who are going to suck you in.
Yes.
So
due diligence. We try and ask questions when the Facebook guys are really coy.
I'll tell you, I jumped feet first into that. I looked into it.
You did.
I looked in it, and it didn't.
It paid up. It's paying off.
I didn't find anything that I could see other than I didn't like the process. I never did.
Right.
I still don't.
Right.
The way you have to fund it.
Yeah.
Never liked it, and still don't.
Yeah.
But I said, you know what? I'm willing to risk $300 on this investment, which is what I did. And it paid off.
Now your investment's quite a bit more.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I make $1,000 a week, so.
Man,
I'm happy.
That's crazy. Most people could retire off of that.
Well, once I pay my debt
at any age, you can just say, all right, I can, But the real trick is to find
the good ones.
10, well, at least 10 workable,
Yeah.
and to keep searching.
Yeah.
Because you want.
I know they're
You
out
don't
there.
want, one thing and one thing only.
Yeah.
One stock, really?
No.
Is that what the investment counselors will tell you?
There
Just
are
pick
some
one stock.
There are some out there
and
that
go
do say
all
that,
in.
but that's very rare. So it's
They don't.
know,
You
yeah.
divest in so many different things
Sure.
because not everyone is guaranteed going to be around.
Sure.
Because companies can be mismanaged and fold up the next day. And of course, you don't know about that until they've already done it, in which case the
Yeah,
stock
it's too
plummets
late. Yeah.
and you can't get out. There's no early detection on that. There's no, maybe if you watched sitting there 9 to 5 watching the stock quotes
Yeah.
and going, wait a minute, it just went down a fraction of a penny.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that
Yeah.
you just lose your mind.
Yes.
Probably let those traders lose their mind, and
That's
you
what I'm
just
doing.
kind of surf on the winners.
Here you go. Want some money?
And,
Here, go make some money.
yeah, right. So
You get money out of it.
with this girl that says she can turn 300 into 3,000, well, maybe she's true. You're rolling the dice
Well, I mean,
with $300, not with 3,000, not
yeah,
with 3 million.
You can look at it in a couple
300.
different aspects. And again, what generally safeguards these from being copacetic
Yeah,
is they don't get access to your funds directly, but they have access to trade your funds,
right.
which is different, meaning they can't go, oh yeah, I'll take that balance and just move it into my account.
Yeah,
So that kind of protects you in some of this. So I'm okay with letting them do that. Novatech has the same thing. All the other ones are the same.
yeah.
They have, well, they're a little different because we did directly fund the money in there. But so I'm finding a lot of apps like that I'm finding very interesting.
Right.
Very interesting.
And again, if we're only talking a few $100, you try them out. Get
I'm
'em
trying some
going.
AI ones out too now, which are not based on people. And the thing I actually like about those is there's no emotions.
Yeah,
It's all rules based.
Yeah.
And rules based is not a bad way to trade.
yeah,
As long and I think what it is they go after micro wins. They don't
Right.
go after these big.
You go after.
They're
of
not
course,
chasing big. All these little ones add up.
Their math works completely different. They're thinking,
Yeah.
well, if I can make a penny a minute versus,
Sure.
they're thinking, what's the best algorithm
Yes.
to give you the largest return?
Yeah,
And
I
it
wanna-
usually means
It's going up. I want a big piece.
small
Of
and steady.
yeah.
The tortoise pace. Small and steady wins the race.
That's kind of what they do.
And the algorithms make trades based on that principle, which I understand that too. And that does sound, there's no one person that you're, I'm all in. You're my guy, Bob.
Well, a person's going to get
Bob's
tired
my
out.
guy, and
These things can be trading all night long.
right. Algorithms usually
does-
don't make mistakes
Yeah.
and send my money to somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So,
I mean, they're not perfect, but they have a very good.
so you've already started with them.
I
and-
started one yesterday.
that's brief. Yeah.
And I put 500 in that one. That was the minimum.
Uh-huh.
And I learned this through another YouTuber that's out there that's got a pretty extensive channel, who's doing it himself.
Yeah.
And he's showing stats and stuff, and he's saying it's looking like the robot can do or has done historically, potentially up to 40% a month.
Which is
I'm liking that.
yeah.
I mean, passive. I don't do anything.
Right.
I check it when I want to check it.
Right.
And
that's app driven, like on your phone, and you could just kind of go in.
So yes.
Okay.
So I tried logging in, but it's not quite there yet.
Yeah.
It's kind of still in progress.
So when you're in for a couple of weeks
Yeah.
and you're
Oh, yeah.
feeling a little more strong about
Definitely.
it, then we can kind of go through a process,
Definitely.
and
We will definitely bring up some
because we can look at your phone right from
Yeah.
if you wanted to kind of
we'll connect it,
shoot
sure.
and go through it, and we can share your phone interface. So.
I tried getting logged in and it didn't work, and I don't know why, so I have to figure that out. It's all new, so
Right.
it's me in the middle of the night trying to figure stuff out. Eventually, I get tired and go, it's time to go to bed. I'll worry about that later.
So
But yeah, I'm really liking those because that'll put me up to about 6 platforms.
yeah. I remember you said you were having chats with people that were like, oh yeah, I was part of these guys and I pulled down like 30-40 grand and then somebody went belly up, but I already made my money, so I'm good. That's pretty.
There's some people that thrive on that. They said, get in early, make your money, and get out. They don't care if it crashes.
Yeah.
I'm like, why does that even make sense? Why would you not want something
it's
a good thing
that
to
mentality
be longevity?
Let's go to the let's go to the
What's next?
Let's go to the casino.
Yeah.
Let's sit down at the blackjack
That table looks hot.
Let's play craps. Let's throw some money around. See what we can win.
Yeah.
And who cares if we don't?
That's what gives a lot of it a bad name, though. People that are in it just for
that
the
word
profit.
rug pull. Somebody actually, I tried to explain the Facebook thing. He says, sounds like a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know about that. That was back in the 20s, wasn't it? Ponzi? Back in the 20s.
They're still out there, but
yeah, but
apparently the Federal Reserve is a Ponzi scheme. So
the Federal Reserve.
that's what they say.
Is there any money actually in the Federal Reserve?
No.
I think I know even Fort Knox, the amount of gold that's actually in Fort Knox isn't really there,
Well, that's why they pulled the standard, because they
they
knew they couldn't fulfill it.
It's a weird thing, but I remember seeing some documentary stuff about that, about actually how much is in the Fort Knox, how much gold
I'd like
is
to have
actually,
how much is in there. I mean, I'm sure it's
it
enough
may
to
not
be
be
happy.
any. It may not be any. Just enough to keep the government alive in case the
Keep
shit
the
hits the
building.
fan. So, but yeah, these things are great. We have yet to. I guess maybe there was one you got into that was just tough getting your money out.
Yeah, I got into one that was.
But it's still is it still in making money in there?
No, I haven't even touched it, because I got it to the point where I could take this is probably a longer story than we want to spend. So I'll give you the quickest down and dirty on it I can. So I got it to the point where I could withdraw. Initiated the withdrawal and went to my wallet. It was supposed to go to my wallet.
And it didn't?
Well, what happened was I got an email from blockchain.com. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of odd. And they're like, yeah, we got a request. You're trying to download this money, and it has to, and because it went to them, it needed to be authenticated. And I'm like, it sounds like a scam.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, we need all this BS. Ended up not getting it, and ended up flipping back to, and they emailed me the other day. It's like, yeah, you have this money sitting here.
Great, send it to me.
You're not investing it. I will get on, but I know I'm gonna.
So as far as you know,
really mad. Yeah. I start talking to him. I said, look, you guys send it to my address. We're good.
Yeah.
You send it to these jerks, I'm never gonna get it.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say. If you're doing that, that tells me you're involved in the scam.
Yeah.
So,
and
I'll just let it die.
And hence the other thing. Here's
not worth it.
The worst thing you can do is to let it die and not call them out, because if you don't, then anybody else following you going into a sketchy situation isn't going to go online and go, what the hell? Why? Because we go and look at some of these guys, and everybody I've been in, I've actually done Google searched, and of course sometimes you see stuff like, oh, it's a scam, and a lot of it we kind of figured out it was their competitors that are saying, oh, he's not good, you want to go with us.
That's what they say about Novotech.
Yeah. So but the real idea is that if you don't get that money back, then you start negative slamming them.
Yeah.
And giving people I'll bet you a lot of the groups I'm in would love to know not to mess with you guys.
Yeah.
So if I don't see this money,
there's no point in talking to them directly, because they don't care.
Well, then you slam them, and you put their negative, you put it out on the web, and that way at least the next person will shy away.
Hopefully see it. Yeah.
Here's what happened. I am not a competitive company with these guys. I just can't get my money back. And the best thing you can do is to let other people know.
Yeah.
We do that. I did that for on the last show, and I was talking about the hotel that I finally wound up. Here's the update. I finally wound up going to my bank and saying, look, here's the thing. What was brilliant about that is because I couldn't get through to anyone.
Yeah.
You damn well know that Wells Fargo isn't going to be able to get through to anybody.
Yeah.
And when they can't get through, they'll go,
They just
great.
cut it.
I'll give Mr. Baker back his money, which I did. I got it.
Then they'll call.
I don't know. They've credited me, and of course, I haven't seen any. I should be getting a notice any day now whether or not it's going to stick.
Yeah.
But someone at the other end has got to actually say something.
Yeah.
And what do we got? Oh,
and they may or may not.
And they probably won't. Likely, they've created their own worst situation.
Yeah.
Because if I can't go in and dispute a charge, which they should have, then the bank will, and the bank knows how to get the money back.
Yeah.
And because banks go to banks and
turn
boom,
the bid on.
and then they'll just kind of go, boom, we're giving him back his money. Anybody want to say anything?
Yeah.
Crickets, crickets, crickets. Yeah. Oh, I guess Mr. Baker was right then.
I had that happen recently. I did actually participate in the service. But the problem was they didn't charge me until like 2 weeks later at 7 o'clock in the morning when I'm on the way to work.
Yeah.
So I called and I'm like, I don't know what the heck this is. So they canned it.
Right.
Because I didn't recognize it.
Right.
I'm like, and I told them, I was like, why didn't you guys charge me when you were supposed to? I said, you charged me 3 weeks later at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would I think it's you?
Yeah, that's because it's somebody screwed up and left some money on the table.
Open,
left a charge screwed up, and somebody probably came in night shift and said, "Yeah, we never charged this person," and then boom, there you go. 3 weeks later. Yeah.
And then
they disputed your dispute.
Yeah, well, and she emailed me, and I was like, "Oh," I said, "I apologize." I said, "I didn't realize that." I said, "I didn't recognize the name." And I said, "It was 7 o'clock in the morning, and we did business 3 weeks ago."
Right.
I'm like, "I didn't realize it was you," and I told the bank that it was good, but they still didn't give him the money back.
Right.
Because she just emailed me the other day. I told her, I said, "Bill me again. I'll pay the thing." I said, "That was an accident. I apologize."
Yeah, but that's not your fault.
It wasn't.
I just deposited a check a client never mailed me from June.
How do you do that?
Well, because I asked him, like, "Hey, dude, you never paid me?" And then he goes, "Yes, I did." And he goes, "Well, check, because I don't have any.
Yeah.
Maybe it just got lost in the mail." He goes, "Oh, it was sitting in my desk all this time from June."
Oops.
So I'm like, well, not a problem. So he sent it to me. I put it in. Now, the bank can say, yeah, 3 months predated. We're not going to let that fly, which case I'll have to go back to him and, get him to cut another check. But the idea is that, they'll, I had to, tell my guys, like, "Hey, I never got a check."
Yeah.
And of course, he wouldn't notice it till maybe the end of the year.
He cleaned his desk
but the end of the year, once you're, you start going through your account and settling up your, your balance sheets and all that, and going, "Oh, this check never cleared. I get money." So yeah, it looks like I'll get that money, or at least the bank is great for doing that. They're your own personal pit bulls. You say, "Hey, look, this guy, whatever." So
if you do it for a legit reason, they're on your side.
And they always opt for your side. It's just the first time I've had a dispute turned back against me. It wasn't because I didn't get the letter directly in time. It was being forwarded, because the U.S. Post Office is great with forwarding mail. Sometimes mail would take 2-3 months to forward. So by the time I got a letter asking me to respond, it was they already debited my account again. So it's like, we gave you the money back, but since you didn't respond, we figured, well, and that's exactly it. So that's what I'm thinking between. What was it? The website plus the hotel. Nobody responded.
Yeah.
Maybe not until they do their taxes at the end of the year, saying, "Hey, we never got paid for this." And then then my bank should tell them to take a flying leap 6 months later. Sorry, you chose not to. And if you don't want to have a customer service phone number, so that people can call you directly and dispute transactions. You want to leave it up to us? That's what's going to happen. So
we'll
I'm
take
kind
care
of
of it.
guessing everything's going to go my way. And if it doesn't, I'll have something more to talk about on the show on future episodes of Modern Day Thrive. This week on Modern Day Thrive, Dean gets pissed, screwed, and out $400. So, no.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's what we're in. That's in the trading scam. We burned over half a show now, 3/4 of a show. I didn't get the chance to tell much about my week.
Hey, you got to play your
But
video.
but you know what? There's we've spent I don't know how many weeks when I've hijacked the conversation, but I kind of like it. In reverse, I like it that I'm not having to. It's not just about me. It's not all about me. So, but my week was a fun week. Last couple weeks, because we've been off the air for a few weeks. Couple weeks. It's been 3 weeks from today that
construction
we were
going
on live.
and all kinds of
So I signed the lease on a new space at we're in Orlando, Florida. It's Central Florida. It's in Ocoee. It's called the West Oaks Mall. Remember how we do I talked about the mall or the mall business or the mall. The malls are surviving. Why are shopping malls surviving? It's not from shopping traffic.
No.
It's not from shopping traffic. Malls are surviving in spite of shopping traffic.
Yeah.
The West Oaks Mall, per se, like almost maybe a quarter of the mall was leased out by the state of Florida
That helps for
for
sure.
tax collection. So the tax collector has taken over like 1/4 of the mall.
Wow.
Not even like the JCPenney or the Dillards. They're still operating. They're on each end. But right next to the Dillards on both sides of the mall, there's the state of Florida tax collector, which means you can go there to pay property taxes, to renew your license, all kinds of stuff. And then, of course, they attracted another state institution. And these guys, first of all, they had to redevelop those areas because those were chopped up into maybe 3,000 square foot stores. So they had to put a bunch together. They had to have their own entrance. Boom, boom, boom. They are in pretty good shape, and they're not going to sign a year lease. They're not going to. So they're probably signed a 20-year lease. So the mall is not going to go under anytime soon.
Yeah.
Just because unless the state of Florida goes under, in which case, okay. So it's attracted more agency type business at that end of the mall. So probably now maybe a third of the mall is really going to be around a while. There's a lot of stores there. There's an actual food court with a half a dozen restaurants still there.
Sure.
Half a dozen closed, but in fact, the coffee shop that was in there that I was itching to try the coffee, they closed.
Oh, really?
The coffee shop closed, yeah. But I was talking to one of the security guys, and he had a cup of coffee, and I'm walking by, and I'm looking at him. Then I'm looking, coffee shop closed. Where did you get the coffee? And he pointed at one of the other vendors and said, get coffee from them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kind of sucked. The coffee shop closed.
Usually coffee shops thrive.
Usually they do, but they need traffic.
Yeah.
And foot traffic. Yeah. And unfortunately, foot traffic isn't a big thing. Now, I don't need foot traffic. What were my criteria? I need cold and quiet.
Yep.
And
you bring your traffic.
I'll bring my own traffic. But you know what? If I get a little traffic, that probably won't be a bad thing.
No.
So I picked a little spot out at the mall. It was only like 1,000 square feet, but it was enough. My other little temporary spot for the summer was 1,000 square feet, and it was a great kind of rehearsal. Can I work in this much space? And I did. One thing I like about malls, where I don't like, is I didn't just go to a mall. I started looking at other, office warehouse combinations.
That stuff's expensive, though.
Other retail combinations, and of course, strip malls, which technically I was in a strip mall. It was a strip mall / office warehouse. That's where I was for 20 years. But thing about it is, for some reason, their price per square foot is crazy.
Yeah.
$20 to $30 a square foot.
Ouch.
I'm paying like $7 a square foot.
Yeah.
I'm not paying that much. So I'm going,
difference.
I'm, and it was, I probably could have negotiated the price lower, and they were very agreeable because they've got a lot of empty space. They can't really offer shopping world kind of situation because although there are a lot of stores there, maybe there's probably 30% of the stores are vacant right now. Maybe. I haven't done an actual count, but let's just say 30% are vacant, which is actually pretty good. There's other malls that are in worse shape than that. Fashion Square Mall, which is more central downtown. Oh my God, they have one. And it's not even really a restaurant, but they have been in there. Their food court is completely shut down. Yeah.
Outside looks horrible. I haven't even been in it in forever.
That mall is, but here's the thing with that mall. That mall, they've attracted Planet Fitness, and they've redeveloped a whole section, like a couple of stores, to make a big Planet Fitness, and even they have their own entrance. So that means they can operate 24/7, even though they're attached to the mall. So. I think they're due to. I actually went and tried to make an appointment to get in there to look around.
Bought out. And
they did sell the property, but they're trying to figure something's going to happen there in the next 3 to 5 years.
Sure.
So I looked at them and they weren't even responsive.
Wow.
Initially I applied because I had to apply for a space before they'd even show me a space.
Oh wow.
That's a little much, I think. If somebody's interested enough to call you and say, "Hey, I want to look at spaces," and you go, "Yeah, you got to apply first." I'm like,
we're gonna see if you're riffraff before you want to show up.
Screw you. So, West Oaks was my first choice, anyways. So I got in, signed the lease a couple weeks ago, and construction begins because I had to replace the floor. Oh my God, floor.
Oh yeah.
Floor is was kind of one of my pet peeves with my last location.
Yeah.
The floor was just a constant challenge.
They're probably still digging the paint off of that back floor.
Oh, yeah. Let them have it.
They probably put gasoline down and lit it on fire.
They probably had to gas, firebomb the whole floor, but that's not, But so I'm in the process of redoing. Once I do the floor, that's it. I'm in, So I made a little video today. I've been demoing for about a week. And where is it? Hang on, let me kick this in. It's only a couple minute video, so anybody out there wanting to see, it's me. I look a little bit of a wreck because I've been sweating and demoing and stuff like that. And here you go. Hey, this is Dean Baker with Post Effects Digital Studios and Modern Day Thrive, and I'd like to introduce to you the future home of PFX Media, the podcasting studio at the West Oaks Mall in Ocoee, Florida, just outside of Orlando on the west side. Anyway, so we've got a space here, the space right behind me. All you really see right now is purple and black. And I want to give you a quick show around. We're kind of halfway through demo, and take a look. Okay, so previously this store was, I think, some type of eyeglass store. Why? Because there's a couple of sinks inside the main part of the store that I'm not even sure if I'm going to reuse them. So what happened here was the store had really crappy peel and stick tile. Let's see if I can find one left over. We've already pulled out quite a bit. Peel and stick tile. This stuff, it is the worst crap peel and stick tile. That was like 90%, maybe 80% of the store. But what was happening here, and if you see these marks, this was wood flooring. And of course they glued it down. This is not laminate, this was wood flooring. Here's some left over here. And of course I got some tile. This entire floor was peel and stick other than that. And the very last thing I had to do was pull out some carpeting in this little room here. And this came out easy. The walls are a wreck, but it's a blank slate, so we'll be able to set up one of our podcasting studios right in here. And of course, we have a bathroom. Don't need to show you that. And this is it. We've just got internet installed. We are still working on the floor. As soon as I get the floors done, then I will be building out the podcasting sets. We shouldn't be that long. We'll be updating everybody on all social media channels. And we look forward to coming to you soon. Bye. Okay.
Nice.
So that's it. It was a bit of a wreck. I was a bit of a wreck.
So you think next week maybe?
I'd like to think that maybe we could move the show back over into the new digs.
So that's the goal.
Yeah, internet was put in today. Good stream, good up,
Nice.
down. So we'll be doing some testing.
Mm-hmm.
But our show next week might be a big test. So, yeah, I'm thrilled with how things are going on. When we do the test, if we do a test next week, the floors will be painted, the curtains will be up, some of the sets will be built, but we'll be able to
Do a
at
quick
least
before and after.
do it before and after. Yes. So I'm, thrilled how things are going. I'm excited for the new opportunities we're trying to create around this. And we've got some new shows coming up.
Yeah.
That's going to originate from this location. So, and others, and remote stuff. So it's kind of fun. And I gotta tell you, half the stores around me,
Mm-hmm.
okay, now 2 stores away from me is Auntie Annie's Pretzels.
Which
And
is a bad
it's the
combination,
only,
just so
I
you
know this will be the death of me.
He's smelling it all day long.
Cinnamon pretzels and the hot dog wrapped pretzels, the
Oh,
little
yeah.
mini bites. Oh my God, that is they're gonna have to come up with a new size for me.
They're gonna know him by
3
name.
bites. They give me 3 bites, and then I can walk away from it. So, but yeah, I'm of course I introduced myself to the guy working behind the counter, and I think he was the manager or owner, and I asked him. He's asking me what I was doing. I told him building a podcast studio. Then he says, "How much would you charge to buy?" So, and this has happened a few times.
10
I've
pretzels
introduced
and-
myself to other store owners, and these store owners, they have that same thought process,
Yeah.
and maybe not know how to get it. And I got to tell you, we've
you can
kind of
just walk
figured it
in,
out here.
boom.
We
Yeah.
know how to make a show, make a podcast, and finding thousands and millions of people to watch might elude our
Sure.
our abilities at the moment. But
Maybe we can make it work.
practice makes perfect,
That's true.
and eventually we will strive to thrive.
That's right.
So, but yeah, it's been fun, and today was a big pivoting day, having internet and then getting
Yeah.
the floors all demoed at least,
Yeah.
and then the paint goes down, and then
We tried last week, but no, that didn't work so
had the
well.
wrong equipment for the job. So,
Oh, Manuel.
so I'm excited. I'm extremely excited for some potentials. I mean, people I'm meeting, of course, a lot of them. I met 3 people today, and I'm not sure if any of those popped on just to see, but we are expecting people to really kind of, people I meet and I talk about what we're doing. They go, "Oh my God, I'm so interested." And even Phil said, "I'm so interested in that." Phil, what the hell? You just kind of disappeared and started, after the first quarter of the
He
show.
always joins
so.
us in the beginning and then the
That's all right. We're going to get Phil to take on a guest starring, we're doing a lot more with Phil and
we get
his
him at
shows.
the grand opening.
So this is all big things happening. So very big things.
I think we lost your brother though.
I think we just kind of we timed him out. I think he's up so early in the morning that by 8 o'clock,
Yeah.
he's really not interested in being clever. I don't know. I guess I'm more of a night person.
Or if
too,
you did
so.
connect, you fell asleep before it even started.
Well, here it is, 9 o'clock.
Wow, it was a
Our
fast
show went by lickety split. Again, we're not investor advisors. We're not. I'm a photographer, filmmaker. George is an IT guy and other things, and father, and blah blah blah. We've learned this stuff by doing it,
The hard knock school.
and we can only really talk about stuff. We can find things. We talked about those foldable cheap housing. I don't own one, but I want one.
Yeah.
And we'll try and be honest and say we've done this and it works for us, or we haven't done it but looks cool.
Yeah.
So buyer beware when you're investing your own personal money. Make sure you can afford to lose it. Make sure you can afford to lose it. I'm not saying you will. I would not like to lose. I got into crypto. I've lost half of it, but it's still there. It's out in the wind.
Yep.
Maybe it'll come
Sleeping.
back. Sleeping. It's sleeping right now. It's underwater, gurgling. But I believe it'll come back, and that to me should be a long-term thought, anyway. So,
Sure.
my over the weekend I spent the weekend with 3 friends from high school, and they all are in different parts of their life and their work and their, but all of them have the 401ks, the
Yeah.
IRAs, they went traditional. And
Yeah.
didn't surprise me in the least. Actually, one of my 4 friends is into crypto.
Yeah.
And he was talking to me. In fact, during the pandemic, his business failed.
Oh.
Or the business that he was working for. His job ended
Oh.
because the company failed.
Ouch.
And then he decided, I'm going to start my own.
Nice.
He hasn't even LLC'd or anything. He just puts himself out as a go-between. So I'm kind of doing so he represents products for candy distribution.
Okay.
So if you ever go to a checkout and see candy on the next to the register, it's likely that might be, him.
Cool.
Depending upon who he's selling to
Yeah.
and what products he's selling for.
Nice.
And he's the go-between. He goes out and negotiates, candy distribution. I'm like,
Interesting.
and he said he looked at me specifically because he's watched our show. I'm like, dude, you watch our show and you don't even chat with us? He said, he glossed over that, but he said, look, you've been doing this for years, working for yourself. I just started doing this a year ago. And he says, I'll never go back.
Yeah.
Now he's his own business, and he decides when he works, how hard he wants to work, how much money he wants to make based
Yeah.
on how hard he wants to work.
Sure.
And he found himself to be, never thought I'd have that personality to go out and build my own business. And
There we are.
when I had to do it, and then I realized I liked it,
Yeah.
then wow. So Chris, God bless you. You're I love the fact that you're happy with your choice. You're making money. Maybe it's not as much in because there's a transitional point, but
Sure.
you have to figure out your path, and if you put all your eggs in somebody else's basket, you give them that power.
Well, what hurts is if you're living paycheck to paycheck when it happens, or vice versa. You have a
I don't
little
think
bit of money to
I
work
don't
with.
think he was,
Yeah.
but I think because it's going to pinch any way you do
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
Because if
makes it
you're
more
living
stressful.
well, likely here's one of those things. When you're living well, what do? You wind up spending just a bit underneath your means.
Yeah.
Which
but still
means
spending.
you're spending a lot of money. If you're making a lot, you're spending more than most people, whether it's a bigger house or whatever, a bigger lifestyle. Most people tend to, but somebody also said, my other friend, he said when the pandemic hit, his wife went and invested in, because stocks were dropping like crazy. His wife bought like 5 different types of blue chip stocks. And when everything dropped, she had a pool of money, and she just said, I'm going to drop it all in these stocks. And of course he says, I just remodeled the kitchen or something like that based on what she did. I thought, wow, that's great. If you have it, know when to spot an opportunity.
Yeah,
And that's what she did. His wife did. So clearly
That's what they say
she's
smart
clued in,
investors do
and
is
he said
have
he didn't
money
even know
available.
she was doing it.
Yeah. That's
So
funny.
all of a sudden she says, "Yeah, I just bought, I don't know, Apple or something like that," and boom, when stocks dropped, they all jumped back up in the last year and it made money. So I thought, so I'm sitting talking to my friends, and of course, again, they're all traditional investors except for one, but he's still traditional, but he realizes, cryptos, could be a little bit more than. So, we're doing it. And of course, they're all doing great. And there's something to be said when you start in your 30s investing and blah, blah, blah. But for those of us who didn't or couldn't, living paycheck to paycheck for a certain amount of years, you don't have money to invest in 401ks.
Yeah.
You're just trying to have your special K at the table.
I'm trying to teach my kids when
your
they're
breakfast
young.
cereal
Start early.
at least.
Even if it's $5, just start.
Yeah. There was that other app I found too that I thought I brought to you last week. It was Acorns.
Acorns, yeah.
And I know we talked about it before, maybe on the show, but we never really. And that's one of those things where you let your kid just kind of like it.
It's a simplified version.
It
does it for you.
It adds little. It's like when the register person asks you if you'd like to. Even it up, as a donation. Well, this is like that, only it's a donation into your investment,
funds.
So it might up it, take that dollar and put it into something stock or whatnot, and just kind of get you used to,
You pick portfolio styles. I want to do aggressive, I want to do conservative, and then it has like a pool inside of there.
Right.
You can't customize it a lot other than telling it what is your threshold,
right?
Are you retiring soon? Do you got a while? So it's not a bad thing. It's just there were fees, and my portfolio was doing much better, so I pulled out. For me personally.
Yeah.
But
well,
for someone that doesn't want to think about it, it's not a bad idea.
I don't have a 401k, but I have something that's actually growing rapidly growing. I don't know if that's a good, and my life insurance too. That's a nice, it's a nice consistent. I know I've got a chunk of money that's actually going to be earning dividends as well as being there if I need it. So that was a good thing. Sure. I'm doing all this in my 50s, so it's never too late. Just modify, would it be good for me to get into a 401k now? I don't know. My income is so sporadic, I can't legitimately go, I need to do this.
Me personally, I wouldn't do 401k anyway.
Yeah.
Just the type of investment it is, it's being sold wrong. So, me personally.
Yeah. So, and I just, I those stories in the back of my head when we get a bubble bursting or something goes wrong or something, then people go, yeah, my 401k got gutted.
Yeah.
And it's just because
they're
managed by trading companies. They're managed by people that are trying to make that money grow.
They're also doing it for the commissions, though.
And they're doing it for the commissions.
Which is the wrong reason.
Right. So
the right reason for them, not for you.
Right. So if it's a matter of, that's somebody else managing your money. And they're managing it to their benefit. And it always helps them when what they do makes you money. It does. But when you lose money, they go, "Yeah, it wasn't our fault. We told you there's no guarantees."
Yeah.
And
you signed.
You signed. You knew what you're getting into. Here's here's the downside of what you thought was right.
Yep.
So I'd much rather
not retiring today.
Yeah. So maybe it means getting in, getting out a little faster.
Sure.
Maybe a higher yield and maybe a little more risk, but I don't know. I guess the risk is yet to be determined.
Yeah, right.
With some of these, but we're also not. It's not like having one 401k. It's having 10.
Yeah.
And all of them could win, and
hopefully all of them do.
Hopefully all of them do. All of them do. Yes. But we're going to do more about that kind of stuff. And we want to get people, we want to start networking with other interested people.
Sure.
Get together and we can actually really, I want to help people. And, I don't know if that's the
a lot
right
of
thing to
people
say.
don't know about these opportunities.
Everybody I've talked to that has gone, holy crap.
Yeah.
It's happened twice today. Holy, you're doing what?
Yeah.
And I even showed them my Cash App thing. It's like, see that number?
Yeah.
That's money that was just
Dumped in
every day, and boom, it's just, people actually are saying, holy crap. Some people will say it sounds like a scheme. And those are the guys in their IRAs and 401ks, and they've been doing it for 30 years.
That's the steady
They've
version.
had one job for 30 years and they think they're bulletproof. And I'm like, okay, good to think that way.
Yeah, let me know how it goes.
But I'm hoping you have a nice big huge pool of money to sit back on that you think you're bulletproof. I don't think anybody's bulletproof. And if they are, that's like a river in Egypt. Denial.
Yeah.
You're in denial. You're not bulletproof. You're not fireproof. Nobody's fireproof unless you own the company.
Yeah.
And even then, you can mismanage it and have to quit and fire, and hopefully you have that golden parachute.
You get all the cost.
I'm talking about some of my friends that I've heard their conversations over the last few days. We're chatting around, and I'm like, okay, great. This is where I'm going. And maybe if I make the kind of money that you've been making for 30 years and I do it in 2,
yeah.
good for me, right?
Yeah.
Just good for me. I'm not saying you did it wrong. You obviously did it right.
Sure.
But I also have the benefit of working for myself for the last 30 years and doing things on my time, and that is a pretty good thing too.
Sure.
Like my friend Chris just figured out by not so much by choice, but by by necessity. He said that's
an opportunity, kind of, in a bad way. But
he goes, I can't get hired.
Opportunity wasn't chosen for you.
So that's it. That's all I got. I'm tired. It's been a long day.
Has been.
Got more demoing tomorrow and painting hopefully over the weekend, but hopefully next week we'll have a different digs, different backdrops. I'll bring that picture just because I know people really like seeing it there. We'll bring the photos back, some of the photos back, but that's all I got.
I think that's it.
Yeah. All right, folks. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your weekend. Don't do anything that gets you too much in trouble. And
have a good night.
Have a good night, folks. And I'm stalling here, so go ahead and mute the mics. Good night, everybody.